Hello everyone, welcome to Edu Canteen. Today we have with us Dr. Subham Das. Subham Das just completed his PhD in statistics from University of Georgia, and right now he is working there as a data scientist. So today we will discuss with him like his 5 year journey, 5 year PhD journey, and we will discuss different topics on that and to discuss on the points how he faced different situations and how he overcome all these things. So welcome to our show, Suhamda.
Hi everyone. Yeah, nice to be on the show.
Like as we know that dreaming of doing PhD in USA and starting PhD in USA, there is a huge number of there are different steps between these two, like writing SOP, applying different institute, interview, entrance exam, all this. So in this all these steps, from your experience, what do you think where you have done some mistakes and where a student should be careful about on these steps? What is your views on this?
Yeah, that's a great question. So when I was in Calcutta University doing my master's, um, uh, in the start of the second year, some of us we decided maybe we should aim for PhD applications in the US, but it's it's very difficult when you are already in the program. So previously, what people used to go out with their degrees and then take a year or two off or do some job or something, and then they will try to apply for these universities with GRE, TOEFL, and all these things, and then transition to the PhD. But what I did and some of our friends did, we took a risk because we are already in a very hectic master's program with tons of courses and everything. And then we decided, okay, in between all this, we are going to apply and prepare for GRE, TOEFL, and everything. So that was a very risky move, I would say, but it paid off eventually. But it was a risky move because to do that in between semesters, my grades for the third semester was really bad, probably one of the worst grades of my life, my entire all the university degrees. But again, since I was able to get a good score and I applied with proper recommendations from our professors in Calcutta University, I was able to get multiple acceptances in universities. So I didn't lose any time. I graduated out of Calcutta University in 2017, and then in 2 months later, I straight came to my PhD program. So in terms of not losing time in your career growth, that's very I think important, but also at the same time very risky. But two or three main things I would say. So recommendation is a huge part, and the professors at Calcutta University are very generous in terms of that. They guided us a lot in terms of where to apply and where we might suit and suit the curriculum, and also they provided a lot of recommendations. So anytime you would be like, okay, so sir, I want to apply this university as well. Can I get a recommendation? It was always yes. It was never like, oh, we had enough, don't come to us. It was never like that. So I was lucky. The professors were very helpful. They are always helpful, that from my experience. And also they were also helpful in deciding the list of universities that we are planning to apply, because we don't have as much experience about where we could get accepted or where our profile could be good enough. So they know from experience where previous students have gone to other universities. So that's why they suggested where to apply and where to not. So I think it's your own research. Like you have to find out where you can apply, and also at the same time guidance from the professors. That's a very important part of that. And also at the same time preparing for GRE and TOEFL. So it depends. I would say if you are not confident enough that you will be able to take the risk, or if the consequences of the risk are very of some concern to you, then take some time off. A lot of my friends did that. Take some time off, get done with the masters, and then uh, apply here and come in a year or two. Or if you are just okay, I don't care whatever happens. Let's just try and see what happens. That's what I did. So the reward could be that you don't lose any more years and you can just straight come to the PhD program. So it's a decision that each one of us has to make, that if the risk is enough, if it's the right time to do so. Um, that goes one aspect, and the other aspect is definitely um, the there is a monetary aspect as well, because for the exams they are pretty expensive, and especially if you have to retake it, the materials are expensive. Although there are free materials as well, I mean, I'm just saying. And also for the application fees, a lot of these universities have like 100 $150 application fees. So if you apply to 10 universities, that adds up to a lot of money. So I mean, that's also another aspect that goes unnoticed when somebody starts to apply to these things. But so that's something else to keep in mind when you start this process, that you have to keep aside a certain amount of money to be able to go through all the applications and take the tests.
Okay, great. Now I want to know, like, to create a context, like, give us the overall idea about that your PhD program, like what is the coursework and TSC and the 4 or 5 years of journey. Give an overall idea of that in terms of PhD program.
Yeah, so the PhD program in US, it's very much relied on the initial coursework. So it doesn't matter where you get your master's from.
Okay.
It could be the world's best institute in some other country, or world's best institute in US even. But still, when you are starting a PhD program, you have to go through their coursework entirely before you can start your own research. So coursework is a very important part. Usually the first 2 years or 2.5 years, that's when the most of the courses you have to take. And then eventually after 1 year, you at the same time start your research, and also the coursework still goes on. So in 5 years, it's usually 2.5 years of coursework, and then 3 years of like focused research. I mean, you can start ahead of time, but 3 years mostly just research, no coursework or nothing else. And what is the assistantship? It's basically their way of paying us the stipend. It's the job that we have to do so that they pay us the stipend. It's helping the instructors and professors to teach a course. It could be taking some classes directly, teaching some students directly. It could be grading homeworks. It could be grading exams. It could be proctoring or checking an exam. So multiple duties related to a course. That's usually the TA work. And it could be for one course, for multiple courses. It depends. It just depends from university to university as well. So the TA work stays for the entire period of time. So as long as you are in the program, that you are doing that job and you are getting the stipend as a return. So that stays for 4 or 5 years as long as you are staying. And then that's kind of the overall idea. So sometimes people decide what they want to research on ahead of time, and sometimes and most of the time in our field, people come to the department, they go through a 1 year of coursework. Then usually there's a qualifier exam to stay in the program. So just coming here doesn't mean that you're getting to stay in the PhD program. You have to prove that you are good enough to stay after 1 year. So after you are done with that exam, then people usually start looking for advisors, like professors, like where they can get like interesting research, and there are multiple stuffs to look into. But that's when people look into advisors and kind of decide what they want to work on. So yeah, it's like that's like the whole process, like the 5 years in summer. And then once you choose your advisor, you stay with him for the end of your PhD. And then eventually you get done.
Okay. 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 Now I want to ask that you said that the PhD curriculum of US, and you are well aware of that PhD curriculum of India also. So what is the difference between these two, that PhD in India and PhD in USA, and why maximum students runs behind that to do PhD in USA? What is the reason behind that?
So, okay, yeah, that's a very important question, definitely. There are multiple differences between the education system and the mindset of people doing research on in India and in US. So one of the fundamental things that I would say, uh, that the resources. So if you, it's just a very basic thing. If you look at what portion of what proportion of money that both the countries spend on higher education, that would definitely answer why some of the infrastructure and also the resources, which are not comparable to what we have in some institutes in India. For example, um, uh, most of the universities here, they have their own, cluster computing division that has immense computing resource. So if you are running like uh, long simulations or something like that, that takes days or weeks to run, then you can use parallel computing or like have the good computing resources to run them in 2 3 days. Whereas I have seen in India, back in like say even like Calcutta University, the the computing resources are not adequate enough. So even if someone is doing a research and they need some simulation results to go forward, it would take months to get the results because the computing resources are not enough. And nowadays, you like the simulation studies have been a very important part of any research you are building. So it's just an example, like computing resources, and for other subjects, labs and like other facilities, which are which are very different from what we have. And that's one thing. And the other thing is also the mindset. So the mindset wise, there is a huge difference, I would say. In India, we have this sense of judging everyone in terms of even before people start their research. We have the he's doing probability. Oh, he's a smart guy. He's doing actual research. Oh, he's doing sample survey. Oh, this is like bullshit. He's probably doesn't know anything. That's why he's doing sample survey. Oh, he's doing theoretical stuff. So he's like a genius. He's doing applied stuff. Probably he doesn't understand the theory. He's just not smart enough. That's why he's doing the applied stuff. We have this mindset. We try to judge everyone before everything starts. But here it's not like that. Everyone respects what you are doing. It doesn't matter if it's theoretical, if it's applied. It could be anything. Everyone is making a contribution towards the research community, and people don't judge other people based on that. So you could basically work on anything you want. So say in statistics, you could work on any branch of statistics and maybe a combination of any other subject, or like collaboration with any other subject. So you can branch out without any hesitation because every branch is well respected. So you can work with the forestry department, you can work with geography, you can work with physics, chemistry, environmental sciences, neurosciences. You can still research in statistics, but branch out and collaborate with all these departments, and nobody will judge you. Oh, he's doing this stuff because he doesn't understand theoretical statistics. Because every field makes similar contributions and it has the similar respect. So in terms of what the variety of research and also the respect you get in terms of what you are doing, the mindset is very different. So people are very open-minded in terms of what you are trying to do. As long as you are making a contribution, that's respected. It doesn't matter what field and what area you are exactly choosing. So you get more flexibility and that's one thing. And also, like in terms of work culture, there is a little bit more professionalism. Not little bit more. There is more professionalism overall, um, which is like people treat that. I mean, they give you personal space. and you can work all week, day to night, whatever, but they usually free up their weekends so that you can have some personal time, enjoy, and then be happy with whatever you are doing. It's not like there is work pressure, but then there is also space to relieve that. So I think resources, first of all, resources, and second of all, the respect and the branching out that you can do in any field, and then third, also the work culture. Like those are the three things that probably would pull a lot of people from India to coming to the US, for research.
Okay, okay. Very well said. And I hope that clear the point. Yeah. Okay, okay. So now in the second point, suppose I want to do a PhD in a particular topic. So I am decided that before going to PhD, I am decided this should be my topic and that should be my guide. But when I started the PhD and I started the coursework, I realized that this topic and this guide is not suits with me. So I want to change my topic or my guide. So how smooth is that, and how to tackle that situation?
Yeah, that can happen. I can say of all the friends I have here, a lot of them have done this already. Like they have changed their advisors or whatever they were doing. They moved to another lab, another subject, and all these things. So it's very common to have, because see, when you are thinking about research, we don't have this broad mindset. Like we don't see the whole picture. We are like, okay, so we like this. Maybe I'll enjoy working on this as well in research. And that's where the mindset is. And we decide, okay, this professor is known for working in this research, so let's go to him. But once you deep dive into the subject, and also like expose yourself to other subjects as well, other topics, sometimes you don't probably feel the same. Once you are exposed, you may like something else. um, so I would say changing advisors or changing your way of study, it's very common, and it's respected. It's not seen as your shortcoming. It's pretty normal to people around here. It's like, okay, it's fine. I mean, you can't. I mean, it can happen that you can work with something for 6 months and you realize you won't like it for the next 5 years. It's totally fine. You can just straight ahead go to your current advisor and then just say, this is not working. I mean, I'm not enjoying doing this, and I'm not motivated enough to go on with this. So if I'm not motivated enough, I can't go on like 4 years and then finish up a PhD. It doesn't work like that. So I'm thinking about, say, exploring these topics or exploring some other research. And people usually respect that. It's not very difficult. I did that myself. I was working with something, and then 1.5 semesters later, I thought, no, I can't continue with this for like rest of my PhD. I'm not motivated enough to go with that. So I changed my advisor. I changed my topic entirely. So, and it's very common. It's not that difficult. It's not like, since you are coming from India and you have a mindset, okay, I'm going to work with it. You said that to that person, and you can't change or you can't go out to anything else. You can do anything you want. It's not a problem once you are here.
Oh, oh. And on this point, I one more thing I want to ask you, that the relationship between that student and the supervisor is very vital, because for next 4 to 5 years I am spending with him or her. So how good is that? How is there that thing?
Yeah, it's a very important question. This is something I didn't realize beforehand. This is something I realized through experience. So it's a working chemistry. Definitely, you are going to spend 5 years. So classroom professor is something else. You are taking a course for one semester. You don't have to like that person. You just need to take the notes and appear for the exam, and you are done,
Yeah, right.
right? So you don't need to have that chemistry going on there. You just need
Yeah.
to understand what he's saying, and you are done.
Mhm.
So, but for your advisor, it's a very special working relationship, because you are going to stay for 5 years with that person, and then day to day basis
Yeah, right.
so compatibility is a very important factor. So this is something I would like to bring up. Like we have this mindset when we come from India, we have that mindset. Okay, so oh, there are like other Indian and Bengali professors in the department, because like in statistical community there is an influx of Indians and specifically Bengalis. So we have this mindset, okay, maybe he would be the one person that would understand, or he would be the one that I would be most comfortable with, just because we are from the same place and we speak the same language. But that doesn't always happen. I mean, working relationship is something very different, and like even speaking the same language or having the same tasting food, it doesn't matter that way. It's like it's how you can gel with that person and how comfortable you are with that person. So I'm it's something that you should not have a preset mind. You should be open-minded. Like everyone should be open. I was not. That was my mistake. I was not open-minded. I was focusing on that so much that I didn't look into other opportunities, like other kind of researches as well. So I think people should be open-minded about that. And then once you come here, then you are taking courses from different professors. So professors here are very open-minded, and they are always willing to talk with you regarding anything. They would have their doors open, and you can just knock and go in and talk to them. And once you talk to someone about the research, about some other stuff, you get to know them as person, and eventually you realize what kind of person they are, and if their working style would be very comfortable for you as well. So some professors are very hands-on. So they are like, okay, so they would have like more regular meetings. They would specify the kind of things they expect, and that's sometimes much easier to deal with. I find that very comfortable from my working style. That if somebody is telling me kind of clearly, I'm not saying just, even if somebody gives me a hint like this is the way you are supposed to go, I will figure it out the rest. But at least I need that hint. But some professors are not like that. They would just give you just some answers, not direct you to any particular direction. Or some professors are very intense. They would like meet you like 5 times a week, and it's a lot of work. So you have to figure out where you are comfortable at, and who is that person that you can spend time with for the rest of your PhD and be happy about it. So it's your call. You have to decide.
Right. Right. So although you have mentioned a little bit about that, and still I want to go more specific. Like I have observed that the student, suppose I am going from India and going to PhD, so I generally try to find a guide who is from same college. Like a student from a CU, he's trying to find a guide who is also an alumni of same institute. So how good is that? How advisable is that?
So again, I think I touched on that topic in the earlier question as well. So this is something very natural, right? So you are coming into a foreign country and you see someone that's from the same college or university that you have gone through, who is an established professor in that department or in that university. So you definitely look up to him. It's very obvious. It's something natural that would come to us. But it's something to look up to someone and get suggestions or like tips how to go forward, or like get some help. And it's different to choose them as your PhD advisor always. So you can always have a non-working relationship with professors. That's the thing. It doesn't have to be. So I started working with Bengali professors, and then eventually I figured out the work I was doing, I was not motivated enough to continue with that. It was more theoretical than I really liked. After coming here, my mindset was a little changed. I really liked applied stuff a lot. So I switched advisors. And even though I switched advisors, I still have great relationship with them. We talk, we sometimes whenever when we are free, we in the department, if we run into each other, we talk and discuss normal things, what to do next and what should some future directions and everything. So you can always have that. You can always have that non-working relationship with your with professors like that. But that doesn't mean you have to work with them you can be comfortable with anyone. It's just a, I think it's just a human connection. It's you make connection with someone and you stay with them for rest of the time. And also it also has to be about the research topic. So maybe you was thinking you are comfortable with that person, but maybe that's why you are forcing yourself to work on some of the topics that you really don't like. It's just to work with that person that you feel comfortable with. But maybe you are making a compromise by doing that. Maybe you actually like some other topic, and then you have to work with some other professors from some other nationality. And then eventually you probably enjoy that work, but if you are forcing yourself to stay with this mindset, then you are losing actually.
Yeah, right. So